with dealing with the situation now and trying to help the system go forward. What has really created a really high sense of urgency, we directed Roy and his staff last fall to begin looking at those recommendations to see if, one, they were still valid, and two, which ones we actually needed to utilize, and then to figure out a process for how, if we believed they were valid as a board, how we would move forward with those recommendations. Roy started that last fall. What we found out this spring is that we lost that $500,000 of revenue, the $350,000 of federal funding, the $150,000 of state funding. That really put a fire, at least under the board's perspective, to create a sense of urgency and move forward in an expedited fashion with these service recommendations. Another issue that we're dealing with that we didn't know of until actually last Friday is the temporary relocation of our Kirkwood transit transfer station. Kirkwood Mall has been a good partner to us in the past, and we very much appreciate the access they have allowed for our buses at their facility. However, they had initially indicated to us earlier this year that they would like us off their property by October of this year, and we felt comfortable that we could find another more permanent location for that transfer hub. What Roy was informed of on Friday was that we needed to move our transfer hub out of the parking lot by Monday, which is yesterday. And so Roy, his staff, the operations staff, along with city staff, have done a tremendous job in a very unrealistic, unreasonable time frame to find a temporary solution to that. Roy can talk about that in a little bit more detail. But that's also driving a need for a more permanent centralized transfer hub location. We're also in the process of developing RFPs for our employees, basically. Bisman Transit Board, we're an all-volunteer board. We have no employees.
And putting on students from an expensive private college, and I believe I went there. When I went there, they had a bus, and they transported their people. Just recently, the University of Mary has built 2 new buildings that were $1 million buildings. Now they've offered the city $2 million to buy the building downtown, which is what we wanted to do with the study that Ben was talking about, turning that into a parking lot and the transit transfer center and other retail businesses, but they didn't get the grant. If the university is going to do that, it's going to cost them either several $1 million to refurbish that building and turn it into it. I met 3 times with the University of Mary staff. I met with the president. I met with Sister Thomas. And we asked them, we will provide you a route to come to the University of Mary, but you need to put money in. If they cannot put $150,000 into a transit system, they can't afford to buy your building on Bowen Avenue or Front Avenue. And assist with it. By throwing off the elderly, transit loses a lot of the funding. As the agencies told you, this county money from both Burleigh County and Morton County goes out the door because it'll go back to the agencies.